Oh, every time. Super loud. Hey, we got a new sponsor tonight, Doobie.
Oh, man. Drop it on
them. They're back.
Branch.
We all know them. We love them. Branch Barbecue, baby. So excited. They got the shipping figured out. They can now do affordable shipping nationwide. We're going to be giving away some of their stuff here in just a minute. Super, super jacked for that. They're loving to be a part of the Dude Network. Charge your shut. And then, of course, you know, we got our meat provider of the show, Meet Again. Until we meet again. Until the next time we meet. Get some capicola, prosciutto, salami, all the good stuff. Right out of Biloxi, Massachusetts. You can get lamb, chicken, turkey, whatever the heck you want. Willow Seasoning in the house. Another partner of tonight, which is in a different one. And our shots tonight are brought by Cleveland Whiskey. Love Cleveland Whiskey. We're going to do smoked bourbon tonight, baby. We want to smoke one right here on site.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Yep. And then, yeah. Brand one. Oh, there it is. And Willow Season. Lens. Brisket I did, man. High elevation, Memphis. You know that's my combo with my briskets now, man.
Oh, bro, I bet that combo is money.
Dude, so good. Anyway. I love this part of the song. Jesse! Alright. How do you... Alright, muted. Alright, we're done. We got the music out of the way. Doobie! Bro, it's Thursday. We're doing a show. What?
I know. What a day. What a Thursday.
It feels weird. You're in the studio at your house. Like, I feel like it's Friday, but tomorrow's Friday because I'm cooking today instead of tomorrow. So, like, my cooks are basically done at this point. So, I don't know. It feels weird, but I'm happy. You know why I'm happy?
Because you're chilling, man. You're on cruise control.
I was going to say because we got Leanne Whippen and Bill Wheeler, but yeah, that too.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we got two of the greats coming on. It's going to be a great Thursday night show you don't want to miss. I feel like whenever we have a Thursday show, you know it's going to be special, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, we don't normally try to interfere the normal workflow. But when these two come on and they say, I can do it Thursday, like, yeah, guess what? We are also doing Thursday now. We're doing Thursday. I was looking. I don't think Bill is in the Barbecue Hall of Fame, but I think we're going to start that campaign tonight.
Hey, let's do it.
I'm real excited to have Leanne newly elected to the Barbecue Hall of Fame. That's going to be exciting to hear how all that went down behind the scenes of the values and the cool perks that come with being in the hall.
I mean, that's going to be something that's going to be new to she's the first Barbecue Hall of Famer on the show, I think. So
is Myron in it?
I don't think so.
He don't need to be. Until he learns how to cook a brisket.
He might be the most winningest man, but
hey,
I feel like Leanne's probably the most winningest woman now. So
Leanne can cook a brisket fat side up and fat side down. So maybe Myron, in his negligence to open up the brain to fat cat down, you're like, you're not quite ready for the Hall of Fame yet. Maybe that's what's going on.
Hey, you know, you got to be versatile in this game.
You got to know all the angles, man.
She does.
How she does. It's proven. You know why? Yeah. She got a ring that says the freaking Hall of Fame to prove it.
Facts.
Ow.
Drop the mic.
Like, oh, that's cool. I wonder if anybody ever approaches her and is like, what do you know about barbecue? Like, they have no idea who she is. Like, she's like, hey, maybe you should, like, adjust your temp a little bit. Like what do you know?
I feel like if they did that, they like deserve a straight slap to the face. You know?
If I'd be her security, I think I'd punch him in the mouth and they'd be like, you respect her.
Like, her name do a couple Google searches and they come back around. You know, like, come on.
Her name is Christina, then you say it right.
Oh man.
I don't I think we just need to get him on here, man. It's 5 after.
It's time.
No one's here to see us tonight on Thursday. Come on.
Yeah, let's get the party started, man.
Let's just do it. Raining out of Cleveland. No. Yeah. Normally I do ladies first, but we got to do the Hall of Famer second. You got to save the Hall of Famer for last, right?
Yeah, man.
So, Leanne,
you got to save your.
Normally we do ladies
warm-up
first.
intro.
Normally we do ladies first, but we do Hall of Famer second on this show. And just throw that out there. Unless Bill's going to come on, he's like, dude, I've been in the Hall of Fame since like 2012. I'm going to be like, oh, our bad. But reigning out of Cleveland, Tennessee, he won a contest by accidentally cooking the brisket upside down and has lived it to this day. And if you ask him now, he said it was fat cap up. But the home of the perfect score of all briskets, a legend. He likes Mexican food. He likes to go to Outback. He likes tequila. In good times, he likes barbecue. He keeps Myron Mixon in line, which is a full-time job within itself, and makes him a legend of himself. But we love him. He's an original member of the Dude Network, and for the second time, Bill Wheeler.
Good night.
Hey, and he's out. He said we reached it. Let's do it. And also joining alongside Bill Wheeler tonight, because this is a Legends of Barbecue. We have one legend right there with Bill, but the second one freshly coming off her Hall of Fame induction. One of the most beautiful ladies in barbecue, Leanne Whippen with a fancy microphone. What's up, Leanne?
Hey, thanks for the nice intro.
Always. That's all I'm capable of. You know how it is. You've both been on here. It goes downhill after the introduction. So at least now you have that expectation.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You know, how's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody doing?
Great. How are you?
I mean, look who I'm talking to. Can I be doing any better right now? Come on. It's Thursday. I mean, we got back-to-back shows this week. Like, I can't believe it.
Hey, you know what? This is going to be the first three-peat on the Dude Network, because technically we did a show last night for those of you who missed it.
We did. It
was short and sweet and straight to the point, but technically it was still there. So
we're doing some half-hour specials, and this guy's got like a big old brain. And like you can name like any country, and he can tell you like the main dishes of each country. And like what liquor is their most preferred liquor, how they cook with their liquor. Like it's pretty interesting. So yeah, we got that going on there. But yeah, Chad Vaughn. So anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about barbecue and what it takes to be freaking awesome at doing barbecue. And honestly, we know you two are good friends. We thought this would be a really cool show to get a different perspective and get you both kind of get two good old brains that are pretty well established in the barbecue community and maybe pick out some differences, just get to talk and see what comes of it.
Well, first off, Myron is in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? That was Doobie. It was not me. It was Doobie's fault.
Man,
Totally.
I blame Tony.
Yeah. Doobie's just still salty from when Myron Berry wore the back cap up thing.
And before we get started here, I listened to what you said about people, like saying, do you know how to barbecue to me? Like don't know me, which a lot of people don't. But I have a funny story that happened this week. I was selling a Weber Bullet, a 22.5 inch. All right. I have 3 of them and I just have too much stuff. And it was in great condition. And I put it on Marketplace. And this guy says, well, it looks like the grates are rusty. And I said, well, that's kind of superficial. The grates are sturdy. He goes, they aren't bowed down. And I said, no, it's in great shape. I've probably cooked on it a dozen times. Trust me, it's good. And he says, well, will you take, $200 and whatever he said, $75. And I said, sure. Cause I knew I had another one to sell. I was like, why not? Right. So then he says, all right, well, let me think about it. And then all of a sudden I get another message from him. He goes, wait a second, you're a pit master. And I was like, yeah. And then he starts sending me pictures of his food that he cooked.
Like, bro, the prices went back up to $3.25 easily.
Yeah, you should have charged
And then
him
I go
extra.
to meet the guy because he bought it. And I kid you not, he had me for 40 minutes, 45 minutes, telling me how he converted a dishwasher into a smoker and used a keg for the firebox on the side.
Oh,
I
And
didn't know that you sold it to Harry Sue.
it was awesome. It was quite, anyway, I thought that was kind of a cute story after
That
you said
is.
that.
Bill, have you ever had any stories like that where someone like looked at you like, yeah, what do you know? Like,
no, it's always just, yeah, we put up with that all the time around here. I'm pretty much the turkey central at Thanksgiving. Lynn, I did 53 turkeys last Thanksgiving, and I give them away. We don't sell them. We give them away to friends and employees, and had 2 team members come up and help. Hadn't been able to get Myron or Tracy to come up here and join us, but usually the phone starts ringing. Everybody wants to know how to do the turkeys, what temperature to pull them. Have you got any extra injection? The store, Walmart's out. Nobody has any. So usually it's turkey advice that I give around here.
You know, that's a very good point. You should really get your injection. You know, one thing that I found when I was cooking turkeys at the restaurant is my big supplier, I won't say who it was out of kosher salt because so many people were brining, you couldn't get your hands on salt. So, I mean, just some things to think about that, you know, not going to go bad in your, you know, pantry or whatever, but you should actually. Oh, and another thing, last year I heard the pumpkin pie filling or whatever it is, that also was, you know, hard to find. So you really
grow
should
your
stock
own.
up, especially with, you know, supplies these days.
Sure.
Especially horseradish. That's one of those things too. You go to find it and then it's all gone. You know, you got to get that at like Halloween time. Otherwise, you're too late. You know,
That's how it's been over the last couple of years. You got to stay ahead of it. Like, you should have been buying your canning jars like 3 months ago, because if you waited till now, they're about to be gone in the next month, and then you won't find them. You know. Say pineapple. Hey, you just got to make your own pumpkin pie. Just grow your own pumpkins, Leanne. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Simple dimple.
Yeah. Well, you know, that stuff in the can isn't even pumpkin.
What is it? I didn't know that.
I think it's a form of sweet potatoes, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I read an article about it, but I don't think it's 100% pumpkin. Maybe I'm wrong.
Was it on the internet? Because then it's
probably. I don't know. I just remember being very surprised by that.
I believe
we know it was
a lot
true.
of the stuff isn't what they say it is nowadays.
Leanne just ruined Thanksgiving for you.
Now you just have more of a reason to go to your local baker and pick up a freshly made pie. You know?
It is where Leanne, she's like, and I just came out with a line of pecans that we can sell pecan pie. Don't buy your pumpkin, sweet potato, pumpkin, I don't know what it is, pie. Go with the Leanne's pecans.
Yeah, there you go.
Leanne's pecans.
Yes.
Yes. You're welcome.
He'll send you the invoice for that one.
Yeah, no, that one's on the house. That one's on the house. Just send me some pecans.
Oh
man. So, how's everybody been? Leanne, you've had nothing going on here lately. So,
yeah, I've been running. Just was in Panama City and did the grand opening for the Academy store there. And then the week before that in North Dakota for a grand opening of the Shields store, which was awesome. There was a bunch of great pitmasters out there. And we were teaching the Shields employees how to cook briskets. So we did one-on-one like brisket classes with them. We each had our own little group of people. It was fun.
You know who should hire you? Dickies. I think they need some help on how to cook a brisket.
Oh yeah.
Each place has
shots fired, bro.
Each place has their own pitmaster. I'm just saying. I've seen some of these pitmasters and I have questions.
I've never been to one. I see them that they're all over the place, but I have not been.
Well, when you live on the road for work, you have to eat, somewhere. So I was like, oh, let's give it a try. And I was like, all right, that one wasn't so good. I went to another one. I'm like, I'll go to a different one. It was, it was not. Yeah, it was consistently not good. It was consistent though. That's the important thing. If it's a restaurant, you want to be consistent. So I kind of know what I'm getting when I
There you go.
Bill, have you ever ate at Dickie's?
No, never even seen one of them.
It's a very large chain.
It's regionally though. Like it's a really large chain, but it's like in weird. It's like there's certain chunks of the country like they're not even anywhere around though.
Yeah, like I don't think we have any around here. I've never seen one.
Yeah, I know there's one in Cincinnati, one in Pittsburgh. I think there's a lot in California.
There's one in Albuquerque.
Is there? Hey, if Albuquerque's got one, they're definitely everywhere.
Yeah, they're out there.
I think there's a bunch in California, though. I think there's a bunch in California. I'd be curious. But anyways, have you guys ever went to a big chain restaurant and was actually impressed with the quality of the barbecue?
I went to a famous Dave's in a suburb of Illinois, and it was actually pretty good.
Okay. I think
I went to Famous Dave's once, and it was decent. I was pretty surprised.
It was,
a lot of the times you go to the chain ones, and you kind of like they don't always live up to the hype. I feel, like I'd rather go get some from somebody that I've never seen before than like go to a chain sometimes personally.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like sometimes, like some of the sides are they're not consistent on the sides sometimes too.
Happens everywhere though, every place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, Bill, have you ever tackled a restaurant in your illustrious career?
Oh yeah, big mistake.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, the early '80s. There was a restaurant here called Happy Days, DAZE. Stuffed baked potatoes, pizzas, salads, submarines. And we ate there all the time. The owner was getting ready to move to North Carolina and talked us into buying it. Showed me the books. He was making a lot of money, according to the books.
Mm-hmm.
We bought it, lost $100,000 in a year. And he double mortgaged the equipment. So they came in and picked all of it up. And it was a mess. It took me 10 years to pay it off. So opening a restaurant, and it wasn't barbecue, like I said, but opening a restaurant doesn't even sound good at all to Sue. So we struggled through that one to keep from losing everything. But, every time at cook school, people will come up to me and they'll say, thinking about opening a restaurant. What do you think? I said, why? They said, oh, well, we cook barbecue at church and they love it. I said, yeah, they don't pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till you start. It's a whole different ballgame when people have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So my advice is don't do it. But I know Leanne's been successful. Myron's got 2 restaurants now that are doing well, but
it's worse now than it was before. Now, to me, is probably the worst time to open a restaurant. It can be done successfully. I just think now is not the time to open a restaurant.
No.
I think you got to be a good leader if you're going to start one out, and you have to know enough people that are willing to come work for you that are good employees to help you out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you can't feel the staff, like you're wasted. Like you could have all the money in the world, the resources, the best location, the best food, but if you can't get a team around you to rally the wagons that's super dependable, like you're screwed. I mean, that's why I think the food truck scene's like still just unbelievably, because really a person, if they have a system down, it'd be rough, but you could do it by yourself, or maybe just have one person help you out there. I mean, Doobie, you're doing it every Saturday out at up at High and Dry Brewery in Albuquerque. You have some help some weekends, but I mean, you have a system down where you could do it by yourself if you had to, right?
Yeah, man. Like last weekend, I did it all by myself, open to close, and it was. I sold out earlier than I anticipated because the couple weekends prior were super slow. I even did a Saturday and a Sunday in a row, and both days combined to like one of my average days in sales. Like it was that slow that weekend. So like I just came out and I just brought like one brisket, one shoulder, like 8-10 racks of ribs, and called it good. I figured that would get me through, and then all of a sudden everybody came all at once, and I ended up selling out like 3 hours before we even closed. So I had to figure something out. and I ended up running to the grocery store up the road and bought as many pre-made patties as I could and a bunch of hot dogs. Made something happen. I was selling $3 hot dogs and $5 hamburgers just to
I'd
appease the
sell $3.
masses, you know.
I'd sell $3 hot dogs all day. I'm just saying. I'd sell $3.
You know.
There's some meat on the bone. But that's kind of the whole thing, though. Is like the point is, I think is that what you would agree, Leanne, with you being more in the restaurant scene than Bill?
Well, when I started,
is that the number one problem right now, or is it health regulations post-COVID crippling everything?
It's a combination of things. I know when I first started, just to keep competing, I was vending, and that could be extremely lucrative. But it's very, very hard work. It's tough. And then getting into the restaurants, of course, I just got out of my last restaurant last April, but I am taking my trailer and opening up a food truck this fall. And I know that I will probably make more money with that than I did the restaurant.
Like, I feel like the biggest difference is overhead, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean,
you have to pay him too much.
Yeah, a small kitchen where maybe you have like a kitchen big enough with everything you need, but you only have like a seating area for 10 to 30 people. Even something that small sometimes can cost like $3 to $5 grand depending on the location. And that's without paying any kind of utilities. And that's without buying any food, any equipment you need, anything.
It's without your insurance, your workman's comp, everything that goes along with it. And I just feel like profit-wise, I'll make more on this with less effort and less nightmare of worrying about employees and the, staff today. They just want to be paid so much. It's hard to make any money. Worst case scenario, I put the trailer on the back of my truck and I tow it away.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I'm tied into a lease,
Right.
Yeah.
Are you still seeing like
a
big swell on restaurants buying food trucks and getting out of the restaurant scene and into the food truck scene? Is that a thing that you both might be privy to that?
I drove through St. Pete not that long ago, and there was almost a food truck in every sort of business. I mean, even in front of this barbecue store that I was in front of, they were selling donuts out there. I mean, it's like every business had a food truck of some sort out there. But, the weather is much nicer here, too. We're year round.
Right.
But I have seen an influx of trucks for sure.
I don't know how I do with eating donuts hot. Boy, Leanne, that donut seems pretty thick for a hot summer day for me.
Everything is terrible when it's hot out. You don't really want to eat a lot of food,
Look at her. She's a pro. She skated right around the whole Tony's fat conversation. That's she's in the Hall of Fame, right? Speaking of Hall of Fame, Leanne, congratulations from all of us on your big accomplishment.
Thank you.
That is so awesome. What was that like? Let's talk about that. When did you get the call? How did it all shape up? When did you find out? Did you have to keep it to yourself, or is it a big to do? As soon as you find out, they're marketing it, they're advertising it. How did all that go?
Well, I was nominated 3 years in a row, and you get the call 2 days prior to let you know that you're nominated, or a day prior. And you can't say anything, obviously, until the announcement is made. And then when it comes down to when they're going to pick the final inductees, you'd think it would be the same thing. Like the first 2 times I was nominated, I didn't get in, so I didn't really know the process. So the day before the announcement, I didn't get the call. So I basically had written it off that it's not happening. And I called my mom and I said, well, but it just didn't happen again. And, she's like, oh, I feel bad for you, but maybe next year. And I said, no, I said, this is it. I said 3 times, there's no way I'll be nominated again, because I'll feel like the efforts would be kind of like, I'm not going to make it in. So why would they put me in again if I'm not going to make it in? You know what I mean? Like 3 times you aren't going to make it, forget about it. So that was my mindset. And then they were announcing it on Barbecue Central Live. Emily was on there. And it was about 30 minutes before the show. And that's when I got the call.
That's awesome.
So it was that last minute, and she apologized. She's like, we just have to keep it under wraps. And it was right to the bitter end. Yeah. And you know what? It was cool because I had already thought in my mind I didn't make it. So it made it that more surreal. And I was so excited, because I just didn't expect it. So it was kind of cool in hindsight.
No, absolutely. No, that's phenomenal. We were so happy to see that because hey, we know her. She did it.
So John Marcus and I, because we stay in touch, and I said, well, here we go again, because we were both nominated 3 years in a row. I said, wouldn't that be something, John, if we both got in this year? He's like, yeah, wouldn't it? And we were kind of laughing about it, like, there's no way. And then it happened, and we were just elated. So I can't wait to see him. The ceremony is going to be at the American Royal on October 1st. So I'll get to see him out there. So it'll be fun.
Awesome.
Actually, one of our sponsors is going to be out there collecting an award at the American Royal. Willow's Seasoning won Grand Heat Blend Champion and Reserve Champion of the whole contest. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I heard that they have a record number of teams going this year.
Well, it was like 5,000 entries or something for the seasoning that he got.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it was. And yeah, there's so many. And he got second overall. So yeah, we were really happy for him on that one. But yeah, he's a big fan and he's watching tonight. So hey, David, and David said he would love to meet you out at the American Royal.
Oh, for sure, it's going to be fun.
I will at least say who you are, what you've accomplished, and maybe she will take time for you peasants out there to the Hall of Fame Royal out there.
I'm super excited too because my daughters are able to break away and they're going to come out there. My mom's coming out, so it's going to be a little family affair. I'm looking forward to it.
No, that's going to be awesome. Yeah.
I remember back in the day I was at the Royal competing, and I don't know what year it was. I want to say it was maybe 99, 2000. I don't remember, but it was the year that Guy Fieri got inducted. And I remember him walking up on stage and I was just like, wow. I said, that's so cool. I would love to be up there one day. And never in a million years, if you had told me that day that I'd be up there one day, I'd say absolutely not. I'll bet you $1 million, And so it's very cool.
Can we go back and can I take that bet now?
Sure, but I don't have $1 million.
Just give me your food truck. You can keep $1 million. Just give me the food truck. So, Bill, have you ever been brought up in the Hall of Fame? Have you ever been nominated?
I'm sure I haven't. I mean,
humble as
and Myron, Guy Fieri, John Marcus, and all those folks are sort of a different realm. I mean, I consider myself Myron's minion, and if you picked up on that, Myron's minion.
Yes.
And I've enjoyed helping him and do all I can to try to be behind the scenes. But I don't think that I'm in that classification of folks. I mean, Lynn had an early start. Of course, John Marcus did Barbecue Pitmasters, and a lot of those folks have really worked hard. I mean, put their life into barbecue. Of course, Leanne had that in her blood, of course, from her dad. But
yeah.
No, and I will tell you this: I guess Stretch is still making the trophies.
He does. He makes the trophies every year.
But if you get the rib trophy, that thing weighs a ton, and it is just awesome.
Yeah, he did say it was a very heavy trophy.
Oh yes, but and something you'll be very proud of.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, Doobie, I have a question, but I'll let you go and ask because I'm going to make me smoked Cleveland whiskey bourbon while you ask.
What was your question?
I'll ask it later.
Oh, so you're going to put me on the spot randomly. So, Bill, you doing any competitions
paying
sometime the rest of the year?
Who?
I haven't been doing any competitions. Cook school's about my focus now.
Okay.
I mean, I was gone 45 weekends a year for many years, and Leanne knows how that is. And I just cut back. So now we'll do about 12 to 14 cook schools a year, and that's good for me. I mean, if there's a competition close, sometimes he'll be with about an hour from me. Then I'll go over and help. Love to do it, but just can't be gone every weekend like I used to.
Right.
Yeah, it takes. I did one. By the way, Leanne, we didn't.
Oh, how did you do?
I got one place out of finishing in the top 10 in ancillary. I got 11th, and then I got 14th in my stake.
That's darn good for the first go
I
around.
was pretty happy with. Now, don't
Very
ask Bill
good.
about what happened the next day at the KCBS. We're not here to talk about that. I missed the turn-in time.
Oh,
I didn't know. So here's what happened. Let me break this down because I feel like I disrespected the whole barbecue community by this, and it still eats at me. So they did the welcome meeting, for the KCBS after the SCA. Well, the SCA, you had like a full half hour to turn in. So in the rules, and like as a first-time team, we were one of the first-timers there. So I think it was never brought up because even the guy beside me didn't know that you only had 10 minutes to turn in. I thought you had a full half hour.
Oh.
SCA. So we nailed the first turn in, actually got there early. Like I'm sitting back there like, oh, just finishing up. Like, man, this is easy. Like everyone's killing like bitching about turn-in times. I'm like, this isn't that bad. We go there like at 5 after, and that's 5 after in like 30 seconds. And the guy's like, we're like, what do you mean? No. Like,
Yeah.
Here, I got 25 minutes. And they're like, no, you don't. I'm like, I had no idea, so. But no, so I didn't finish last in any of the categories. And if I would have turned in my ribs, if I would have got last place, I would have got like 19th out of 25 in the KCBS first time by myself. So I didn't do bad. No, John Z. John Z's just right. See, this is why no one likes John Z. This is why no one likes
I don't want to get on his bad side.
Yeah. So, but no, Bill actually got a kick out. I turned in. It was chili. It was a chili cook-off for the ancillary, and I wanted a little something. And I looked behind me, and there was wild onions growing. So I took my knife and like cut them off the ground, diced them up, and sprinkled some wild chives on top of them, and turned them in. So yeah, I did do something that was kind of cool. That made sense. But yeah,
that is cool. I like
but the chili was, I guess, I went with traditional. And then people were turning in like chili verde and like cream of chili. And the winning was chili with a cinnamon roll.
Oh, that's shocking.
Yeah, I was really disappointed. A Skyline chili recipe was like super cinnamon and it got like 5th. And I'm like, these judges should be fired. They should again. It's such a like, yeah. But anyway, it's like something Texas would do because I know Nombre is watching. As he's giving us the middle fingers from the waiting room. So, okay, let's talk about competitions here. You've both won so many. So I want to talk about your best one, the one that has the most meaning to you of any other competitions. Bill and Leanne, you both have won some of the most prestigious competitions. You've been on this grand stage in front of thousands of people. But is there one that stands out more than the other? Ladies first.
There's 2/3. The first state championship that I did in 1996 was Stone Mountain, Georgia, and there was close to 100 teams there. And my dad and I were competing, and we won grand champion, and then we went to the Royal and won first place in pork. So that, of course, being with my dad, first comp, hitting a grand and then going to the Royal, that was big. The second was definitely out in Vegas at the World Food Championships with my daughter, and we took first runner-up at the Worlds. And so those are my tops.
Right. Yeah, yours was kind of a layup there, but you never know. You have to ask because maybe something else happened that led to something that was that's sure that one with your dad was. I mean, that is a cool story, and I think there's probably a million people that wish they had that memory. So that's definitely a cool one.
Yeah.
Bill, what about you, Mr. Memphis in May?
Memphis 2016 was a good year, but for our 45th wedding anniversary, I asked Sue what she wanted to do, and she said she wanted just me and her to compete. Jamie built me a Jambo. Johnny cooked on it at 2 comps. I hadn't cooked on it. Johnny brought it to Cleveland for me. So we loaded up in the RV and we went to Disney and stayed, and then we went on and competed. And there was 47 teams in Florida. I mean, it was on the beach, and I'm brain dead about the competition name, but Sue said it was the 40th. She just texted me. No, 40.
I heard the ding.
Yep, 40. Tell me where we were at.
Anyway.
She's about to tell you what seasoning line you used here in a second.
But you know,
hey, Sue for the Hall of Fame. Let's go.
we had never, we'd never cooked, just me and her by ourselves. I mean, we'd cooked with Scott Smith, we'd cooked with Myron, and we both went to cook school. So, I mean, my goal was not to be last. And so we ended up being, I think, 6th overall. And we got a chicken call and brisket, ribs. I mean, it was amazing. And that's the only time we ever competed, was that. Myron Fay, his wife, and me and Sue competed in a Sam's event, and we granded it, just us 4, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Memphis in May in 2016. And I've got a trophy over here that's 55-gallon drum smoker that says Snake River Farm King of the Smoker.
Let's fill it up with beer.
And or margaritas. But
margarita.
Sterling Ball had invited Myron to come out, said he could bring one person with him. So I went with him. Myron couldn't be there, so I did the brisket myself, and I beat Tuffy, and I beat Johnny, and I beat.
Good for you.
I mean, it was, first place brisket, and that was a cool thing. I mean, those are the ones that mean the most. But
and this
was our 40th anniversary. I remember now.
You'll never forget it.
Yeah. Hey, Leanne, this is the guy that says he's not worthy of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And he's like, I won grand and brisket the one time I did compete by myself. I beat Tuffy. I beat Jesus. I beat everybody's brisket. Yeah.
Tuffy and Johnny and Chris Lilly, and it was a good day.
Yeah.
Tell it. So, any new trends that? No, Bill, you're probably pretty much a traditionalist, but Leanne, have you done anything outside of the box here lately? Bill, same question for you too.
Not in particular, although for this food truck thing that I'm doing, I am going to do some healthy options, you might say, like bowls, and might do some smoked tofu to appease those people. So just trying to make it a little bit healthier. I mean, I consider barbecue pretty healthy if you don't, put a whole bunch of sauce on it. I made some, and everybody makes jalapeno poppers, but I did make some for the event that I did, and people really liked it. And I just did a 50-50 mix of pimento cheese and cream cheese and wrapped it in bacon, dry rub, and all that stuff. And the pimento cheese really is, it sets it apart from your traditional, jalapeno popper. So
the one watching this show, he did some jalapeno poppers yesterday, but he mixed pineapple with the cream cheese and then bacon. And I want to try that pineapple jalapeno combo. That sounds pretty delicious.
It does sound good.
Delicious on pizza too.
Nope.
Oh. Is the show over now?
Yeah, I think we don't recover from such.
We're talking about pineapple on pizza again. Okay.
Yeah. Here we go.
You'll never die.
Yeah. Even though I will say I had a pizza the other week with pineapple on it, and it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
It had onion. It had like some really good onions on with it, and the onions and pineapple went together. And sweet red peppers were on it there too. So that kind of all went. It was like a vegetarian pizza because I live for vegetarian pizza. But yeah, it wasn't terrible. But I'm not going to say it was good because it was not. I'm just saying it was more tolerable than others.
I used to go into the pizza spots and order. Let me get the vegetarian pizza, but can you add sausage? You know, and I would get the funniest looks, you know, but I really like all
I
the
like it.
veggies, but I just want a little bit of meat, you know what I mean? So I'm like, let me get the veggie pizza, but add sausage. Look at me like, why don't you just order a Supreme? Because you skimp out on the veggies when you order a Supreme, you know? Like, just want a little bit of meat.
Yeah.
Oh, also, back to the trending thing. I think you're seeing a lot more tacos on barbecue menus because it doesn't utilize a lot of meat, and you can sometimes use scraps for that. And the price point is good. Your profitability on a taco is much better than straight up brisket by the pound. So you're seeing more innovative ways to use the meat, and whether it be a flatbread or even pizzas for that matter, to try to make more money.
See, that's what Dubin. It's funny you mention that because Dubin and I were just talking about that because he likes to do the traditionalist, like I have brisket by the pound, pork by the pound, where I like to do meals with the meat. Like that's what I do. Like, smoked mac and cheese with barbecue sauce and onions, and then like a half pound meat on top of that. So Leanne, like in the trend of the current market, are you seeing more people go with here's the meat, you get what you meat, or do you think that people are starting to, instead of doing just traditional sandwiches, they're doing more of the creative dishes with the main meats of barbecue?
Definitely more creative, and it depends on where you are in the country too, because I know here in Tampa we have a lot of young people, and they like trying different types of food rather than the traditional. They like to see the unique things. They like to post on Instagram as much as I can't stand that stuff. It's just the nature of the beast. And if they hear that you have some signature item, they see it on Instagram, that also helps you bring more business in as well. So,
right. Yeah. Anybody can do a taco, but if you do a taco with mac and cheese, pulled pork, brisket, chicken, with some Rotel tomatoes and then a little drizzle of balsamic glaze or something like that, everyone's like, wow, that looks really, really good. And it's like a little taco with like 8 pounds of meat on top of it, and it looks like there's zero chance of you actually capable of eating it with your hands. But,
correct.
Oh, look, dude food. Like, yeah, that's a thing. We invented it. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's in the encyclopedia. Nope.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was terrible. Everyone got quiet. I think that's the first joke I've ever said where everyone's just like, what did he just say? Like, dumb guy. Yeah.
Oh, man. I feel like Bill's a little quiet tonight. We got to get Bill going.
Bill, what, are we nervous? I mean, Bill, what's going on down there, man?
No, I'm not nervous.
Come on, do the hokey pokey.
Remember my bedtime is 9 o'clock. So, one
Bill's
thing
gonna be like this here in a second. If he crosses the fingers on the chest, it's over. We know that.
Uh-oh.
One of the things that has been real successful for one of our local food trailers is tachos. And you take tater tots, they're fried extra crispy, put a layer of cheese sauce, put pulled pork, another layer of cheese sauce and barbecue sauce on top of that, and sprinkle some bacon on it. And they are awesome. And I mean, it amazes me with all that cheese sauce that the tater tots are still crispy. So, I mean, and I love it. I mean, it's a great dish. I don't know what they're selling it for, but
your phone just went off. Is your wife telling you it's $9.99?
Or they aren't tater tots.
Yeah, they're not tater tots.
It's a friend of mine wanting to know about injecting pork butts for the weekend. So
he hasn't had a margarita.
No, I haven't.
No.
I went home and ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and drank a glass of milk. So,
hey, grape or strawberry?
It was strawberry.
Hey, what about raspberry jam?
What?
I've never
raspberry
tried that.
jam and Jif peanut butter. Yeah.
Who does? Okay, Lee. Okay, now
did you hear about
Jif peanut butter? It's raspberry jelly.
No, jam. You have to have it with the seeds in it.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Yeah, I do like the seeds though. Yeah. We just missed black raspberry season up here, but red raspberry season's coming, so I'm excited for that. Red raspberry vinaigrette is
blackberries, right?
Yeah. No. We have blackberries and black raspberries. It's two different things. Black raspberries come in July. Black raspberries come in July. Blackberries come in August. Yeah. Then
So is there
red
a taste
raspberry.
difference? What's the taste difference between a blackberry and a black raspberry?
Well, black raspberry is a lot more tart. It's a lot more sweet. It's a lot more seedy. And like, you know, you can grow the tame ones they're a lot smaller. And on the blackberry, the stem is like you get more pulp on a blackberry, where the raspberry comes off of the stem of the white part. So it's going to be a little bit easier to pick up, but it's a lot more seedier, but it's a lot more tart than a blackberry. Like the thornless blackberries, like they're cool because you don't have any thorns, but you actually lose a lot of flavor by going to the thornless blackberries. So the regular blackberries, like the wild ones, they have more of that sweetness, tartness, but the black raspberries are much more, they're much more sour in a way. If you like tart fruit, it's really good. But yeah, if you have diverticulitis, black raspberry is not fruit for you. I can tell you.
You guys have mulberries where you're at? Like little mulberry trees?
Dude, my dad's farm, I swear to God, this mulberry tree is massive. You could probably get a 50-gallon drum of mulberries every year off.
Wow. That's
I don't
cool.
like them. I don't know Bill, Leanne, have you ever had mulberries?
Once a long time ago.
They're really flat. They're juicy, but they're not.
They're like a little bit. It's almost like a simple syrup flavored berry. Like there's not really a lot to them. They're just a little sweet, but they don't have like any kind of berry taste. It's just kind of
yeah.
Legends of Barbecue, like a white raspberry almost. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, this makes sense. For the Legends of Barbecue show, and we're talking about mulberries, black raspberries, like, you know, I mean, that's exactly what people came into the show tonight to watch right there. Have you two ever competed against each other? I mean, obviously, surely you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's won more head to head?
I don't remember.
I remember Bel Air, seeing you guys up in Bel Air a lot, Maryland.
The first time that I met you was at Tron at the event, and I cooked with Scott Smith, and you were competing and we were competing, but I don't remember how either one of us placed. So
I won grand champion there one year. 96 teams.
That's why Bill don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't.
That was a great contest. My dad started that contest.
Yes.
Yeah, in Tryon. They used to get over 100 teams.
How many contests did your dad start? Like that are like still
just around? That one, but he did assist other people and, you know, gave them advice and recommendations. But Tryon was his big one. It was recognized in Southern Living magazine as one of the top 10 events in the country. And you know, it was with the Chamber of Commerce. And yeah, it's no longer. It's kind of sad, but yeah, fell by the wayside. But it was around for a long time, over 20 years, I believe.
Wow.
So it was a great venue, car show. They had stuff for the kids to do.
Great concerts.
Creek going through the place, and I mean, it was a great place.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, before we bring Nombre and Johnsy in here to the fold to round out the show here tonight, you are both in like what we would call as like the top tier circle. Like, you know, you all have competed with every household name in barbecue that we hear about today. You know, Leanne in the Hall of Fame, Bill, you know, cooking with Myron all these years, who's also in the Hall of Fame. You guys have been around like the best of the best and still work around them. So in like, I guess the big pot, we call it a community, the barbecue community, the barbecue family. What's the relationship like with you both, and then like with the upper talent, you know, that's been around forever, the Moes, the Myrons, the Johnnies, you know, and you know, everybody else that obviously I could go on and on and on. But is it a family, or is there like some competitive spirit? Like, what's the relationship like? Is everybody get along good with each other? How does all that work? And is it similar to what we all deal with? Everybody's on the same team. You're just there to have a good time, and may the best person win.
I feel like since I was doing it so many years, I, you know, was always running into Tuffy because he ran like the circuit that I did, and Myron I'd run into a lot. And I feel like it's a family, and it was kind of weird because some of the people have backed off competing that used to compete a lot when I was competing a lot. And I was at the Florida State Championship here competing this year. And all of a sudden, who pulls up next to me is Tommy Houston of Checkered Pig. And we used to run the same circuit and ran into each other all the time. And I hadn't seen him in over 10 years. And it felt like when we saw each other, it felt like it was yesterday, like we were just back in it again. And it was an amazing feeling. It really was, because I was like, what are you doing here? I didn't even know you competed anymore. So to me, it feels like there's definitely a family vibe to it.
Right. Now, Bill, you've worked with one of the loudest personalities in barbecue. So, and actually, it's a funny question I've had. Does everybody like Myron's personality? And with you being, because honestly, you're associated with Myron, right? Like Bill and Myron, like kind of two peas in a pod. So with Myron being his like loud, I'm here, I'm alpha, has that rubbed people the wrong way, or has everybody still been like really nice, like looked up to you guys and like looked to you guys as mentors and guys to mimic and follow, or does it create a big bullseye being the guy that wore the t-shirts and everything like that about how awesome it was? So what's it like working with Myron and working around the rest of the barbecue community, I guess, is a good way to word the question.
Well, I think we have a good relationship with the other teams. It's always an honor for anybody competing to beat Myron Mixon. I mean, everybody, every contest, their goal, if Myron's there, it used to be when we did a lot of KCBS circuits, they want to beat Myron Mixon.
Mm-hmm.
As far as, there's some jealousy. I mean, maybe resentment, because Myron has been successful in the barbecue world. And you always run into that no matter what walk of life you're in, whether it's barbecue or whatever. But I mean, it's like a family, like Leanne said. We'd go to a KCBS contest where we're going every weekend. You'd see 40 or 50 teams that were the same people you saw every weekend, 45 weekends a year. And you have a relationship. If somebody hurts, they all hurt. If somebody is sick, everybody's concerned. So, I mean, it's just like a real big family. And I've gotten out of that family by not competing, not going to competitions. And I miss that. We keep up, with what's going on. But for the most part, I mean, we'll have people to come to cook school and they say, man, this was an awesome weekend. And I always thought Myron was just such an ass after being on television, or I would have been here years ago. I mean, that's honest. That is a common thing that's said when people are leaving cook school, but he's really a great person. I mean, I've seen Myron, he's tenderhearted. I've seen him tear up. Long story on that I won't go into, but
right.
I've seen him tear up over a small child, and he's got a good heart. He really does. And I think the world of him. And that reminds me, I'm going to grab this book real quick.
Recently added.
This is Tuffy's book. Excuse me. Shouldn't have had the milk. Tuffy said, Bill, you are a saint and will surely go to heaven because of all the care taken you've done for Myron. Keep on smoking, Tuffy Stone.
That's awesome.
For all the care you've taken of Myron. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
And it's been, I mean, I've been with Myron now for almost 12 years, and it's been a good fun thing to do.
Right. Well, we're going to let the other two guys join in here. They've been watching. I'm sure they got some questions. The rest of the dudes, the round table here, we got Nombre, shut up, out of Texas. And then we got out of Turtle Rock, California, Johnsy with his red stapler, a.k.a. Milton. Leanne, you missed this. Look at this similarity here. You're going to...
What?
Look at our guy here.
That's interesting.
It is. That's why he's got the red stapler.
Oh, man.
To the ground.
Have either of you ever seen Office Space, the movie?
No.
Yeah.
You're too busy winning championships. I'm going to the Hall of Fame.
No. Sorry.
So is that where the guy's from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to take a look at that.
It's
That
a
is
funny.
amazing.
It's a classic.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's a classic.
It's a banger from the 90s. It's a banger
Yeah.
from the 90s.
Fun.
So, hey, gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? First and foremost,
Fantastic.
Doing good. We're finally getting some rain in South Texas. So
hey, shout out to the rain in South Texas.
yeah.
When you work with the power company, rain is good. Rain is good.
Well, it depends. You sleepless night or
Hey, I said good rain. I didn't say hurricane. I didn't say hurricane. I said good
Yeah.
rain. Good rain.
Yeah.
So, hey, you guys have been watching here in the sidelines here. Always loving you guys coming on here and hanging out with us. Nombre, first, I'm sure you got some questions here. First, ladies first, as always. Leanne, then Bill. What do you got?
I mean, technically not so much questions, just an honor to hear from you, and congratulations on your induction.
Thank you.
I've seen you on TV plenty of years, and then come down the road so many years later to be on a show with you. It's an honor. You and the other barbecue people doing things for us, making us want to do more. So it's just humbling. It's real humbling. Wheeler and what? Yeah. It's
How
just
about this?
That's so sweet.
That's
Man,
a new
Nombre
side
is
of
so
Nombre.
And you know what? He
I don't
didn't-
know.
you know,
I don't know what to do with my
Take
hands right
note here. He didn't say the word Texas at
Yeah,
all
he-
in
Not
any of
once.
that.
Not once. Oh, it's on the shirt. Oh, it's on the shirt.
No.
This guy. Oh, man.
no.
Hey,
No, but it just I always ask, what is your go-to barbecue thing on the side just for you? I'm not doing a cook-off or anything. This is what I want. This is my bread and butter.
I have a couple things. It depends on my mood, but I like to cook pork steaks hot and fast.
Yeah. Those are
I mean, I know it's not the
delicious.
best cut of meat, but I mean,
No.
I love it. I love the fat
the
content.
ribeye, of
I like
course.
the crispy edges, and I just love it. I love a mean beef rib, and those are my favorites. But it's very costly these days, those beef
Mhm.
ribs. But I'll take a pork shoulder and just cut steaks myself out of it, and then throw them on the grill, and
Yes. So good.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Wheeler, what's your go-to? It's just a lazy day or lazy weekend. I know you don't have free weekends, but a lazy day and you have a little cook to yourself.
DoorDash is my best friend. I do not cook at home except my big cook at Thanksgiving. Every now and then I'll get a pork tenderloin, stuff it with Johnsonville better cheddars, and wrap it in bacon.
I love better cheddars.
And,
I just cooked those the other day. They are awesome.
but I very seldom ever cook at home. Now, when we do, cook schools on a regular basis, we're cooking there. But I just don't do much barbecue at home. I really don't. And I don't go to barbecue restaurants either. You were talking about that earlier.
Well, when you're on top, how could you eat anywhere?
I mean, and I'm not going to stand in line and wait on anybody's barbecue for 2 hours but mine. So
Exactly.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Johnsy, out of California, what do you got for Miss Leanne and Bill?
Just like because sometimes people has anything changed for you since you were inducted? Like anybody, is there any like different treatment? Not like good or bad or like Hollywood status or anything like that, but has anything been weird since any of that?
Congratulations. You'd be surprised how many people don't even know about the Barbecue Hall of Fame. I was in St. Louis in Illinois 300. I was out there with Blues Hog, and we were out cooking, and somebody said something about congrats on the Hall of Fame, and people were like, what's that? I mean,
Oh, man.
there's a lot of people that don't even know what it is. Nothing has changed except for my peace of mind.
Oh, there you go. Hey, that
is
counts
big
a lot
thing,
these days.
because over these past 3 years, it was wearing on me on a daily basis. Like, what could I do to put myself maybe over the top? I really did think about it a lot. It was that important to me. So I have a sense of relief now, and now I'm just super excited about it, and excited that my family is going to be out there for the induction. So that's the biggest change is I feel relief.
So, not to bring up any salt poured wounds, but what was that like being nominated, but then not for 2 years in a row? Because that 2 years in a row, you're like, oh, well, 2 years. I mean, you get nominated for something like that 2 years in a row, you would.
Well, there were other things that I achieved also, in this last year. So I crossed over a lot of areas. Back in the day when they had the Hall of Fame, they used to have a category, for like restaurateur. They had celebrity, they had, business, whatever it was. And they were separate categories. And they found that too many of the pit masters or people that were up for it were crossing lanes. So that's why they decided to take that away. And by the way, anyone can be, you can send in an application, not yourself, but anybody can be, you can mail it in, to the, have them put you up for a vote. So it isn't just like we get nominated out of the blue by a committee. It doesn't start that way. So they get well over 100 applicants a year, and then they have a board that sits down, and then they decide who the nominees are. And the actual final vote is done by the current existing inductees as well as the committee. So the inductees don't get a vote for the nominee, but they do for the final vote. So it's kind of interesting how that works.
Yeah, that's a wild process.
Yeah, but seriously, if you have someone that you feel, that should be nominated, don't think it's like a committee that picks these names out. It isn't. You write in, and it has a formal questionnaire that you have to fill out. I had to go through the whole process myself. I didn't nominate myself. You can't, but it's certainly open to a lot of people. They have restrictions, and you can find it on their site, but the dates, they have a deadline, when they have to be put in, but it's kind of interesting.
If you had a pen name, what would it be?
A pen name?
If you had to nominate yourself under an alias, what would you call yourself?
Myron.
I love it. Nailed it.
Yeah, get his ass. I love it. Yeah, thanks, Myron, for the nom. Appreciate the nom, Myron. I don't know if I want him back on the show. He's like, y'all been talking shit for the last 3 months.
That's so brilliant.
Oh man, that's funny.
Anyway, yeah. So, and I also thought that when I got out of the restaurant last year, I thought that was going to be a ding for me, and that people are going to be like, "Oh, she's not doing that anymore," and kind of like falling off the radar. But then I started the brand ambassadorship with Pit Boss, and now I'm co-host, on Barbecue Nation now once a week. So definitely keeping with the whole barbecue theme, but just in every lane possible, except for the book thing, which I'm still on the fence. Yeah. So
yeah, you should.
I already have the thought down, but it really does take a lot of time, and it's a serious consideration. Now that I am out of the restaurant, I think that I need to just put my foot down and do it. You're right.
A life storybook or recipe book? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
It's not going to be solely recipes. The idea that I have, I'm going to keep it confidential, but it will be different than your traditional barbecue book. But it will be a barbecue book, and it will have recipes. But there is a whole different angle that has not been written about.
Are you going to slap a bunch of history from your experiences in there?
She's not going to talk about it.
You know what? There will be. It's not about. It's really not going to focus on me per se, but I of course will include some things that were important to me that I think, I'd like to mention, but no, it's not about me. That's not what the book's about.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to squeeze for information.
Yeah, you should be. Talk to a Hall of Famer like that, Don. Yeah. So, Do That Food with Bill. No, Do That Food with Leanne Whippen with foreword by Bill Wheeler.
Oh, there you go. Leanne Wheeler. That's
totally nailed it.
Scandal on the Do Network.
Yeah.
I had it in my head. I'm like, this is going to be epic. And I was like, yeah.
I'm really in there, but
Bill Wheeler.
I'm surprised your phone isn't going ding.
That was brought to you by Cleveland Underground Whiskey. Bill, when are you going to come up with a cookbook, man? You got, dude, like the stories with Myron and like your stories, like you probably have a memoir.
He's probably signed a confidentiality agreement with Myron that he can't do anything.
And with Cabo Wabo.
No, I would handle that as a best friend situation, but I actually got a domain name years ago, and it's called Mama's Cookbook. Mother hand wrote recipes, and I've got all those recipes, and I'd like to take those recipes and you're right, Leanne, time, it just takes so much time to put all that together.
And it's expensive.
Oh, it is. You need, before you start looking into that, you need to just talk to Myron about the book deal. But I've got a domain name, I've got ideas, and I was going to do about Mom's recipes and do some barbecue stuff and life stories. Mama had a lot of good sayings like, she ain't got sense, God give a goose, and stuff like that. that a lot of you folks in California, maybe even Texas, hadn't heard. But
I've heard stuff like that.
I love it. Bill's been watching. He's scared. He's gonna come out with us.
No, I grew up hearing stuff like that.
Mow all y'all down. I love it.
Yeah, we grew up with that, man. It's like when someone says that's something pointless. Oh, that's about as pointless as tits on the boar hog, We're all about it down here.
Texas don't even read. It's not even, they offer it, but it's optional in school.
Jesus.
Wow.
I mean, we have toad stranglers here. We had one yesterday, and when we were doing Barbecue Pit Wars, we were in Calhoun, Georgia, and all of our producers were there. Man, it came a toad strangler, and I said, "Man, this is a toad strangler," and they were like, "What?" They were all from New York, and they said, "We ain't never heard of that before," and I said, "Yeah, a toad strangler," and I mean, it was terrible, but anyway,
what is it? I'm from Jersey.
Don't leave us hanging, Bill.
You don't know what a toad strangler is?
I do not. I'm from New Jersey.
No, I thought the toad stringer. Strangler has my attention even more.
A strangler. No, I mean, it's when it's pouring down rain so hard that it would drown the toad.
Choke them.
Yeah, because they're not water frogs, and it would drown the toad. A gully washer, a toad strangler.
Gully washer, I've heard.
But
yeah, I mean, it's funny you should say that. I didn't know that, and now I'm thinking back to this situation. I was at the Tryon barbecue, and I was driving with my sister, and it was pitch black out, and it had rained. Of course, it always rains there, and there were a million. I mean, like millions of frogs all dead, like on the, and we didn't understand like why this was happening. So that explains it. They were out there and they drowned, right?
Yeah, they were not water frogs. They were land frogs, and they drowned.
Unbelievable. Huh. No, I didn't know that.
Up here in Ohio, we take it a step further. It's raining like a cow pissing on a rock, is what they say. Raining like
pouring piss out of a boot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I only know the
what do they
cat
say
and dog thing.
when it's raining really hard? It's raining. Is there? Hey, what do they call it, New Jersey, when it's raining? Like when it's a downpour?
It's raining cats and dogs. This is a normal thing.
The only G-rated thing about New Jersey, right there.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, New Jersey, do you have any of your New Jersey ties to your barbecue? Like, do any like the flavor profiles that you've taken with you down to the South?
Absolutely not. There's nothing from there to take down anywhere.
Well, you could stuff like a capicola inside of a brisket, maybe. I don't know.
Unless you can,
Oh.
like fold up a piece of New York style pizza and stuff it in a brisket or
Absolutely not.
something.
Dirty Jersey barbecue is going to be so disappointed by this sequence of.
Hey, we gotta cut that soundbite out right there.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
we got.
no way.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
that's
that's
amazing.
so
So rest of the year, do you have both any comps or big things going in the barbecue community between now and Christmas? Bill, I know you're going to be doing your turkeys again, but anything outside of that, or just the turkeys, which is a really big thing?
Well, we got cook school starts back in September, so we'll have September, October, November, December cook schools, 2 classes in January and 2 in February. And they'll be back to 1 class a month. We do a memories class and a regular.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. What is the memories class?
It's pit cooking where Myron does it just like his daddy. We've got masonry pits there, and we'll put the green oak in the fire barrels, and we'll use the coal, shovel them out, put them in the pits, and no electronics, no temperature control. They just lay their hand on the tin and know when to add coals to it. It's a unique school. We have ribeyes, moonshine, just a great time.
Hey-o.
And I think we're sold out through maybe February of 2024 on that.
The jug's back.
We got shit to do tomorrow, Johnsy. Can't do the jugs. That sounds awesome, though, Bill.
That is awesome.
A primitive barbecue school would be definitely something that'd be of interest.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's something about open fire food that just has a totally different flavor profile, right?
It does. It's excellent.
I personally like the hog that we inject and everything like we do in Memphis and may cook better than the old timey hogs. But we have a big feast on Sunday. Myron does. Now he's got a smokehouse. We do smoked sausage, teach students how to make sausage, stuff the sausage in natural casings, Brunswick stew, collards. Myron makes the best collards ever. It's a good laid back class that, they learn a lot and they shovel a lot of coal too.
Yeah. See, I don't know much about collards. You just don't get collards up here in Ohio. The collard greens aren't a thing. Nabra, are they a thing in Texas, right? No?
Well, they're here, but at home we don't eat that.
Johnsy is still on mute. We'll wait for him to come back. There you go.
Sorry, sir.
There, he's back.
Yeah, come on, Johnsy. California. Dave, do you have collard greens out in California? Is that a thing? You're a big gardener.
In certain areas, but not. I'm with Texas on this one. 100.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had some down south there. I like good greens, but yeah, I get it. I think it's an acquired taste, or you need to have someone that really knows what the hell they're doing.
See,
I think that's the problem. I had fast food style. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, see, I just don't think I've had it cooked good. Because I love vegetables and stuff, but
Myron's is good. We've got a barbecue place here in town that serves collards, and they put so much sugar in it that it's like a dessert instead of it. And I don't like it at all. But you got to put a little bit of sugar in it to balance it so it's not bitter. Mm-hmm. But they are very good.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff that Popeye wouldn't even eat. So.
Favorite side dish, Leanne?
Not collards.
Okay.
I really enjoy a loaded baked potato. With everything on it.
With everything. But hey, you don't just throw loaded baked potato. We need to know Leanne Whippen's
Well, it's got to have
play-by-play.
a lot of butter, and you have to mush all the butter in the potato first. And then you got to
Yep.
I like cheddar cheese on it. And then I like to have chives and crispy bacon, a little bit of sour cream.
Oh, yeah. Keep going.
What have I forgotten?
Yeah.
I think that's all.
That's it.
Oh man.
Now, I like a lot of fresh cracked peppercorn on my bacon.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
I
sir.
agree.
Cream cheese. I like doing the cream cheese instead of sour cream.
That's a nice twist.
Yes. My cream cheese mashed potatoes are my jam. My cream cheese mashed potatoes are instead of any butter, just do a whole block of cream cheese, and then just add my salt, pepper, my SPG on top of that. Whip them all up real nice. The creaminess from that cream cheese and the mashed potatoes. Hallelujah.
I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I just think I would miss that butter flavor though.
Yeah, I'm such a butter freak.
I'm with you on that one.
So, true story, and she's probably watching. I just got 2 pounds of Kerry's Gold straight from Ireland. It's different than the Kerry's Gold from here in the United States. So I'm going to do a blind taste.
What's the difference?
I do not know, but with the other than the regulations to sell things in the United States are more stringent than that in Ireland. So apparently the Kerry's Gold that's available in the United States is a totally different recipe than what they sell to the natural in Ireland.
Are you going to do a side-by-side test?
I'm going to have the wife do 2 pieces of bread, get Kerry Gold American on one, and I'm going to do a Kerry Gold Ireland on the other, and I'm going to actually see if I can taste the difference. But yeah, supposedly
have her do it blind too. Don't let her do it, and don't tell you which is which.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to know anything. I do not want to know anything.
I bet money you'll be able to tell the difference.
I hope so.
I got a feeling.
You always hear the conspiracies of like the American government, like in the food regulations and the things that you have to add, additives you have to add to stuff to get it appropriate for store shelves. So it will be an interesting test. But I'm really excited about the Kerry's Gold straight from Ireland. That's
yeah, that's actually really, really cool.
I'm looking forward to that. Actually,
yeah, me too.
I will try to tag you in it because I know you love social media and all the notifications. So I'll definitely
Instagram, especially. Remember that she said Instagram, especially.
Yeah, loves Instagram. Anybody?
And boy, did the Dude Network blow her up today. She's like,
oh hell! Send me a message and tell her hello. Just make sure you do it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Bill, what's your social media of choice? Twitter?
It's the only one I do, so yes.
See, I favor Instagram. I really do.
Instagram's it's a good way to. It's cleaner than TikTok. It's less strenuous than YouTube, and it's a good way to keep the networking going. I feel.
Yeah, it's just quick.
That's
for up and comer barbecue. Like I had a big following, not big, nothing like Nombre does on TikTok, but I had an established following on TikTok. But then when I moved over to Instagram and I got like a couple thousand followers on there, it seemed like the level of interest went like 3 times quicker than that on TikTok. So anybody watching, make content on CapCut and send that shit on everything. Don't just put your eggs in one basket. That's
you go.
Facts.
Yep. So Bill, any big events for youth then before the end of the year other than the turkeys? Are you going to do any events? Are you going to do anything?
Oh yes, I need to mention.
You said the cook school, but are you going to do any events at all?
Well, yeah, next Thursday's my 50th anniversary, so yes, that's a big event.
Hey, congratulations!
Congrats!
Not the Bill. We're congratulating Sue because we all know that.
Yeah, there was a few years. Just a couple, right?
Yeah. She's let you hang out with Myron all these years. She deserves a really nice dinner next week.
You know, that's one Christmas gift that she probably regrets giving me is the cook school.
Leanne, have you ever done the cook school? Is there any interest in you doing that ever?
No, I mean I've been down to his house and seen the whole thing, and but
you doing one.
Oh, me? I am doing a class at the track in Daytona. I just I'm going to be doing a Thanksgiving kind of a class. I haven't decided the whole thing, but turkeys and stuff on November 19th. And so the announcement's going to come out for that, and that's going to be at the Bull and Boar Barbecue. And actually, Myron's doing a class there in September on brisket. I think a 3-hour class or something. But yeah, I'm doing that, and then I just have the usual things: judging at the Jack. I'll be at the Royal for the induction, and then the World Food Championships. I'm going to be one of the master judges, and they're doing a little bit of a different format this year, which I'm excited about. Yeah. And then, the year's going to be over before you know it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's we're at the end pretty much.
I can't believe we're in August. Like, it's stupid.
Seriously.
We're in August. It's really stupid. All right. Well, hey, Nombre Johnsy, I think I'm good on my end. Give you guys one final question here. Johnsy, you first. Nombre, you second. We got Bill and Leanne here. I know that they're probably chomping at the bit to get back to the regular business here. We thank them for their time, obviously. But Nombre first, what do you got? Final thoughts? Johnsy, final thoughts. My bad. I went back.
Yeah, okay.
That's on me. That's on me. Again, that was sponsored by Cleveland Whiskey.
So we just talked about people getting started or whatever, and you guys are on the level you guys have made it to through hard work and all that. What was your greatest struggles in the beginning? Like, what was the hardest things for you guys to get over, to get to where you guys started, moving up that to where you guys are now?
For me, it was the timeline and basically working your time backwards from turn-ins to make sure that your food is ready right at the optimum time for turn-ins. That was my biggest struggle. And I struggled a lot with brisket, and I practiced a lot. So that's my biggest thing, was the time.
Those damn chicken thighs are my enemy. That's my final question. That reminds me, I have one more question. Yeah, but we'll do it at the end. All right. John, Bill, your early struggles. You didn't have any. You're a Hall of Famer.
I don't remember any struggles.
Oh!
He said, "Hold my beer and my size 38 python."
Right.
But keep in mind, I couldn't remember it was 45 or 40.
Hey, Sue, what was Bill's early on struggles? Was it time
Yeah.
life and barbecue life?
I'm just waiting for the phone to go ding, 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 ding.
or not. It doesn't necessarily have to be competition. Or what was just like one of your biggest hurdles in cooking or barbecue or whatever?
Well, it was just balancing time. Usually on an event, like I said, I was gone 45 weekends a year for many years. And sometimes you'd leave on Thursday and not get home till Sunday night. Other times you'd leave on Friday, go to the comp and get there midday. Like, it's about, to Tron from here, it's maybe 4.5 hours. So when I'd try to leave early enough, then I'd leave there on Saturday after the awards and drive back home if I could. But it was just trying to balance the time out and still make sure things at work were going well.
Yeah.
All right. No, that sounds solid. Nombre. Oh, go ahead. What's that?
No, I was just going to say, which sounds like a typical beginner thing, whether it's you guys in comps or someone just starting out barbecuing. Time's a big deal in what we do.
Yeah, it is. And money.
Especially nowadays, talking about meat prices earlier and all that. Good grief.
Yeah, meat prices are it's interesting right now. Nombre, your final thoughts and question here for Miss Leanne and Mr. Wheeler.
Yeah, Leanne, Mr. Bill, on your barbecue travel, what's one major do and what's one major don't through your travels?
Excellent question.
A major do and don't when you go to a comp, you mean?
Travel hacks.
Yeah, just through your travels, through your competition time, what are things that you do and don't? Like something you do to support yourself, something you don't, you're going to regret or have a failure or something.
Well, I'm a big believer in safety in numbers, where I really was extreme in like how many racks of ribs I would cook and that sort of thing. And I lost my focus. And over the years, I finally whittled it down, to where I only do X amount of this and that. And I think that's an important fact is to really just focus on less. Less is more in a comp for sure. And obviously with the cost nowadays, it makes sense. Also, one thing that I learned the hard way was, for my garnishes, I would always buy my garnish wherever I was going to, because if I brought garnish with me, and don't ever put your parsley or your garnish on ice because it will destroy it. So I learned that too, to separate it. Yeah, those are just two little things.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Bill?
Well, I think time, and one thing that we have to deal with, everybody wants to see Myron get pictures made and they want autographs and all this. And you've got, it doesn't matter how many people that you see, your turn-in times are still there. They're still at 12, 12:30, 1, and 1:30. Still got to make those.
Oh, look who joined the party.
Visitor.
That's Pork Chop, by the way. Pork Chop just came up to say hi, my cat.
But just to, keep focused on everything else that's outside, then you need to come to a point that you say, okay, we've got to do this and get this done on time.
Awesome. Viewers, that's free knowledge from Hall of Famers and world champions.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hall of Famers and world champions. I like how you blended that together.
Yeah.
That's why we pay them the big bucks.
Wait, you're getting paid?
In compliments, we're getting paid. Okay, Leanne, Bill, my final question. I'm considering, when I do my KCBS comp next year, instead of doing chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and keeping them nice and juicy and turning them in. How do you think that'll go over with the KCBS judges?
Ooh.
I think it's very risky.
Oh,
it is. You know what else is risky? My regular
Send
chicken
it, Tony.
I personally like boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Me as a judge, if it was excellent, it tasted, I'm going to score it because, not because it doesn't have skin, because you shouldn't, but I would enjoy that. But I just from judging over the years, the majority are probably going to mark you down for it because they're going to think you don't know how to cook chicken with skin on it.
That's true. I do not.
Okay.
That's true.
It's a struggle. To do the KCBS, the one bite, like it's real, because I feel like as soon as you add that sauce to it, any crispiness you have goes away. Then you need that bite through.
Not necessarily.
That's tough. But didn't you? I mean, if
is
you
tough.
but in KCBS though, Johnsy, you kind of
you guys are really talking out of my level.
Last, right, Bill, Leanne, you add your sauce last in the box, and you're not really, or at least before you put it in the box, you dip it in the butter and the hog's blue sauce, and then the butter mixed in with it to give it that glaze and the pop and the shine. So so John's, to your point, you can't really sauce it and then crispy it up again. You put the sauce on, and then that's going to soak into that skin, and then it's going to make it a little. I don't know. I'm talking on my Jesus Christ.
Is that like a rule?
I know what I'm talking about when I got these two here beside me.
I want Bill's opinion on this. Like, what do you think about him doing the boneless, skinless?
I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, if you don't want it boned, don't want any bones in it, get you chicken thighs that has skin on it and debone it. And do a Myron muffin pan chicken or whatever, loaf pan chicken.
So you think the skin's the great all on the with the judges? Is that what you're saying, Bill?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I think
it's
so. I mean,
true.
you're looking for bite through skin, and if there's no skin there, you just got scored down.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if I could I'm talking to myself personally, like if I could finish middle of the pack and chicken and then crush what you already know you can crush, the pulled pork, the brisket, and the ribs, I mean, and you're just kind of doing middle of the pack just to kind of stay in that grand hunt. I mean, can you pull it off, you think, with boneless, skinless chicken thighs? If you kill the other 3 categories, or you just pretty much surrender, Bill, are you surrendering your rights to be grand champion if you try to turn in boneless, skinless chicken thighs?
I think so. I think
Yes.
you'll receive poor scores in chicken.
Mhm.
I mean, if you're afraid of that, get you some flats and practice and make those flats perfect. But when you sauce those, you need to put them back in for about 4 to 6 minutes back in the smoker and let the sauce set. You don't want to brush hot sauce
Mhm.
on your chicken and then turn the box in. You want it to set in the smoker. Is that what you do,
Mhm.
Leanne?
Yeah, absolutely.
She wasn't going to tell us that until you told us that, Bill. So I appreciate you extracting
she
that
did.
information.
I did say it earlier, actually.
Was that on? That was, my bad. My bad.
So I am not a world champion,
worst,
but
Leanne, I'm the worst. I'm a
did
guy.
you trim up your skin? Did you trim up did you take the skin off? You scrape some of the fat off?
I've done it a multitude of different ways. And I actually, what I really have found that works really good lately, and I don't know what Myron uses, but have you ever seen those little plastic scrapers? They're like really tiny and they use them, I don't know, like to clean out a bottom of a pan. They're hard plastic.
Oh, like the Pampered Chef things.
Yes, yes. So my
Yeah.
daughter had one at her house. This was
got
right before
3.
I did the last comp. And I said, you know what? I'm going to try that on the chicken thighs. And it worked amazing.
Ah,
Amazing. And the other thing is, and I don't get paid by these people, but Gunter Wilhelm puts out a shear, a kitchen shear that will cut laser, I mean, perfection on your skin. I mean, it's amazing. So those 2 things I discovered in this past year that I just love. But yeah, I do scrape the skin. Yeah, absolutely.
Gunter Wellhouse, cheers.
Gunter Wilhelm. He puts these shears out, and I mean, I'll go grab them and show them to you. They're awesome.
Yeah, I kind of want to see these things.
Now we're doing chicken legs. We're not doing thighs right now.
These things are
You're doing
absolutely.
chicken.
They don't look like much. They are laser sharp, and they can cut through that chicken skin. I mean, just it's amazing.
It just cuts. It don't pull or anything.
It doesn't pull. It cuts right through it. Like I wish I had chicken thighs to show you. Yeah. So this is my latest favorite tool. I love that.
Nice.
Mhm.
I do
I
need
love
a
it.
good pair of chicken shears.
I have other shears that, and they just don't work like this. This, for some reason, has an edge to it. I don't know. It's amazing, though. I don't know what Myron uses. Are you going to tell us what Myron does?
Yeah,
We're doing chicken legs. So,
Oh my God. You're doing
really,
legs now? Really?
we've been doing that. They've been scoring better than what the chicken thighs were doing. But
and you're pulling back the skin back to the joint, seasoning the chicken.
Well, you got to take that ligament thing out in there.
you just take
you
them out.
gotta take that out.
I totally forgot about that one.
Yeah. Well, it's like a little triangle, right? It's like.
But
well, it's more than a triangle. It's like a whole strand that runs up it. But at the Jack last year, I saw a lot of legs turned in. I would say mostly thighs, but I would say you would have legs in 1 or 2 of the 6 boxes for sure. It's
sure
more prevalent. It's definitely more prevalent now.
I thought you weren't allowed to go against what the standard of the comps were.
What do you mean?
So you're saying like you're surprised that someone's going with like you thought thighs were the only thing you could turn
Yeah.
in?
Oh no. You can turn in whatever you want. In the Jack, you actually have to turn in white meat too in the box. But no, I'm just saying that predominantly every time I go to contests, it's always thighs, and you'll occasionally see a leg. But I'm seeing more legs out there.
Mm-hmm. And then IBCA, they do the whole half chicken.
I love that.
Yeah, see, that's what's up right there.
Yeah,
that's the way that KCBS should do their chicken. They should cook light and dark meat.
Absolutely.
That tests the skill of like if they can make both. That's always been a thing for me, and I'm sure a lot of other people out there. But
You know, that makes perfect sense because dark meat, in my opinion, is a 10 times easier to cook on juiciness than a breast. So yeah, if you can turn in both a dark meat and like hold moisture of a chicken breast with no fat in it, I agree. I think that takes you up a peg in the.
It's interesting though, isn't it interesting that the jack, you know, you got all these KCBS guys and they, you know, they get pulled and you know, the one pull and they finally make it in there and they're going to be tested because they have to turn in white meat too at the jack. So here these guys aren't really used to it that, you know, they're at the Worlds there and then they got to turn in light meat too.
So on those chicken breasts, like, does it have to be, can you pull it at like 160, 155 with all like 150? Can you turn that in and be okay?
You pull whatever you want, they're going to look at it and be like, ooh.
Well, I mean, but with the juiciness, it's really hard to go much higher than 165 on a chicken breast and still hold all your moisture, right?
Well, you're done. That's
But like, do you so that was my question though, is
personally, I mean 165 is I think for health department purposes they say 165, but I'm not going to bring a chicken breast up to 165. It's going to be overcooked. I'll go to 160.
Boom.
And that's,
so you'll go 160.
160, yeah.
Okay. Bill, what do you pull your chicken breast at if you had to turn one in?
Yeah, I would do 160. You don't want them too dry. But turn in flats. Try that. You want to be different? Turn in flats.
Okay.
Put about.
Are you talking about like from wings?
Yes.
And that's also what they do. They also turn that in at the jack too, because a lot of people can't cook the breast right, so they are turning in the flats.
Right.
But always remember, if you know, if you don't turn in something that isn't the very best because it's a flat. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Always do what's the best. You know, that's the.
And yeah,
Except
if you need
for
some chicken wings,
skinless thigh.
if you need chicken wings, you need to get the jumbo chicken wings from Meat Again.
I would say just well, it depends on, you know, what you're saying. Jumbo's like, I think that the leg portion of it, not the flat, is too big. It's too much. Yeah, it's too much to go in a box. The flat's the way to go for sure.
It's called drummy.
The drummy. Sorry. Yeah.
Or drummy.
And you got to be careful of the size of them. Jumbos can be too big, even with the flats. But you definitely have to go on the larger side. Otherwise, they aren't going to get any meat. They're going to take the meat.
Definitely Meat Again can help you with that, right, Tony?
Yeah. All right.
I'd like to see somebody turn in like a boneless flat. That would be interesting.
No.
That would be interesting.
Bill said you're not allowed. It's terrible.
Why not?
Worst
terrible idea.
You talk about a one bite, let's go. That's awesome right there. Boneless.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to try it.
Cool idea. Then Bill Wheeler comes in and just goes all over it, you know, and I'm done with the boneless skinless.
Hey, a Hall of Famer just gave a pro tip right there.
Yeah. She's giving a lot. She's giving a lot. And so is Bill. That's why we love them.
Absolutely.
You know? They give us more than what we deserve. I can tell you that right now. That is a fact. I think we've taken up enough of these two prestigious times. Bill, he's propping his eyelids open with bamboo sticks over there.
He's done great. He actually he perked up a little bit as we went along.
I got my second wind.
That was the Cleveland whiskey popping in. That was it got in his veins there. He's good to go now.
I thought it was a Texas joke.
Yeah,
fired him up. Texas joke fired him up. He was trying
Texas
to get at me.
Was the one. Yeah,
Texas comes in to save the day.
No, we had to make fun of Texas.
You said it, I didn't. But
once we universally made fun of Texas, we came together as a team, and then Nombre was left on. So we appreciate Nombre's sacrifice to bring us all together as a family tonight. Thanks, Nombre.
Yes,
Nombre.
Hey. So yeah, we're gonna wrap this up here, and no, I appreciate you guys all so much. The fact that you came back a second time is an honor. First time I can say I tricked you. Second time you actually had a decent time, so that's really cool. Or you're just really bored on Thursdays. Either way, we'll take it. We appreciate getting both of your big barbecue brains into this conversation here tonight. Leanne, we're so happy for you and your accomplishment.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot.
We're just glad you're kicking life right in the damn teeth over there, Bill. That's what we're happy for you. we'd like to send you off with this message to Myron. Fat Cap, hashtag Fat Cap down. Just send him from the Dude Network. He'll get it. Trust me, he'll understand. Only thing I ask is that you get his reaction and put it on Twitter. And then tag Leanne on Instagram.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Yeah, see now you perk Bill's interest. Now
yeah. He's texting.
He's typing right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'll eat them boys for breakfast. So, Leanne, congratulations on the Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on the show. I had a great time. It's great to see you, Bill, and I will see you on the barbecue trail. I don't know where, but we always seem to run into each other now and again. So.
And
maybe I should go to Myron's class just for the fun of it.
Show up.
You love the memories class.
Please just show
Wait,
up.
do you know he's going to make me pay? There's no free in Myron's class.
Not if you just show up.
You need to show
throw
up
you
and
out.
try and-
I'll just like peek through the bushes and show up. Yeah, that actually might be more fun.
Someone
If you
needs
come
to-
out of the peach tree grove and say, the real Hall of Famer is here to teach you, that would be it.
Just pop up and say, in the guest instructor, and he'd be like, yeah, guest instructor.
Yeah. No, Myron be like, hell no.
I'll put a
This is my
suckling pig
class.
over my shoulders and walk in and say, hey, can you cook this for me?
Or he'd be like, I don't know, did you pay your taxes to Unadilla?
He's the mayor, Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. We need
Oh,
those
okay.
taxes. We got streets to pave. Come on.
okay.
We got billboards to show. I mean, we can't let his billboards go to shit now. We got to keep the things fresh and lively.
Oh, man.
Myron deserves all of this, by the way. Bill, can we agree that Myron deserves all of this? Yes, yeah. So, hey, dudes and dudettes, especially
Thank you guys so much.
tonight, Leanne.
Thank you. You guys have a great night. Be safe and enjoy the weekend that's coming up.
Absolutely. So,
you know what I'm doing on Saturday?
Making
I am
awesome food.
judging the best burger in Tampa Bay. I get to eat 15 different burgers, so I'm very excited about
What are
that.
you looking for? What are you looking for? Different or flavor?
You know what? First off, I've done the burger battles before, like to try to get in the worlds and stuff. And I have found that, first off, do not make a big burger just loaded with stuff, because you want to be able to bite into the burger, so it has to be manageable. That's one thing. So any burger that I can't get my mouth around, I'm going to have a problem with that, because I want to taste all the ingredients on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm just going to look for, I like a little bit of grease in my burger. I like a greasy burger. I like smash burgers. If somebody gives me a good smash burger, I'm going to score it high. It doesn't have to be like a medium rare burger. You know what I mean? So it's going to be, however it tastes. Like, is it going to blow me away or whatever? I'm not going to judge it just because it's, a burger made out of the Spinellis or something like that. You know what I mean? So I'll see. It's going to be interesting though. And bread is important. I don't like a whole lot of bread.
Bun.
Yeah.
And make your own bun. Your own bun.
Yep.
Making your own bun though is like what she just said. That's challenging because most homemade buns are like really thick and heavy, as bread's supposed to be. But the store-bought buns are like,
give me a Hawaiian roll.
Get her a smash slider.
Smash burger on a Hawaiian roll. I just made those the other day. I'm telling you, it's so good.
25 of those burgers are going to have Hawaiian buns because for some reason I heard it on the internet.
Because we've had at least 3 million
hilarious.
people watching this here tonight. Yeah, there's a lot of people in Tampa taking notes right now. But
sorry
hey,
to interrupt. I know we were wrapping up, but I just had to throw that in there.
Hey,
Okay.
anytime you want to throw a little bit extra, that just means that I'm ready to go, and we'll take it as a compliment. But dudes and dudettes, thank you so much for joining us on this very, very, very special Thursday night show. But hey, when Bill Wheeler and Leanne want to do a show on a Thursday, you make it happen on a freaking Thursday. So that's what we're doing. We're thankful to have them. Nombre, John Z, thank you so much for coming on here.
Yeah, thanks.
Doobie, I know you're watching in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for everybody that shared. And we do have to give away a winner here real quick. We had 7 entries, and we're just going to go with who's first to 7th on priority for the giveaway, and winner is number 3. So the third person to share this post was
It was Nombre.
no,
Johnsy.
DQ'd on counts of Texas.
Oh, come on.
My other alias.
Is it?
Actually, the third person down, Kimberly K, wins.
Congrats.
Hey.
Congrats.
Hey.
Congratulations.
Very good.
Kimberly K, congratulations. We will get a hold of you and get some prizes over to you right away. 1 bottle of Willow seasoning of your choice and a package from Branch Barbecue. Everybody collecting on Thursdays and Fridays. We're getting the sponsors. We're getting free giveaways. So if you want free shit, watch this show here. Thank you guys again so much for hanging out. Bill,
Thank you.
Leanne, Nombre, John Z, you are all the absolute best. Bill and Leanne, you're just a little bit cooler. Thank you both for hanging out here with us tonight. Congrats on everything that you have done this year. Congrats on the rest of the year. Texas sucks. California's not much better. But you know where it is cool? Georgia and Florida. No, not Georgia. Jesus Christ. Bill Wheeler out of Tennessee. Close to Georgia, but not quite.
Yeah.
Still Tennessee. Tennessee and Florida in the house. Thank you guys so much. Till next time, tomorrow, we'll see you.
Okay.
Dudes of the round table.